we're here with our mascot, the Story Dude. So please, like the video, subscribe to Story Dude, and let's get into the stories.
Today I fucked up by sending a picture of myself to my straight friend. Read the edits at the bottom of the post before commenting. This wasn't today but more like yesterday. Well, kinda both yesterday and today, I guess. So I, 19 male gay, have been friends with this guy, also 19 but very straight, for about 4 years I think, and he's what I'd call my best friend or at least a close friend. I've liked him for a few years as well, and I told him because I felt guilty about it and he was totally completely okay with it. And he treated me no different for it. About a year ago he had met a girl that he really liked and had talked about her a lot. He asked her out about a week later and he's just obviously absolutely crazy about her. And when he told me he had asked her out, it hurt a lot more than I had expected, and I finally realized that I don't just like him but I am actually in love with him, and I felt like shit about it for like almost a month and kinda stopped talking to him for the most part. After a few weeks he reached out to me and we talked about it for a long while and he helped me feel better, and I slowly felt less guilty about it and went back to normal after a few days. Anyways, fast forward to yesterday. I had taken a booty pic. It was the sitting on the bathroom counter side cheek type angle. And I had asked if he was alright with me sending it to him for an opinion on the picture. I've sent him somewhat similar pictures before for the same thing, like pictures of outfits and clothing, asking what looked better and so on and so forth. It wasn't unusual. And since it was my first ever booty pic I've seriously taken in my life, I wanted to ask him for his opinion about it. He said it was fine and that I could go for it and send it. And so I did send it, and he reacted fine. We talked about it and he told me what he thought was good about it, and we joked about it a bit, and then we went on to another subject and just talked for a bit longer for the night, and then said good night to each other like we usually do when talking with each other late at night. The next morning I had sent him a meme or two and another picture but of my hair, because I never really showed him how long my hair really is, and he laughed about it and we chatted a bit. But sometime later in the day I had realized that he had blocked me on everything. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a little bit of panic. My best guess is his girlfriend ended up seeing the booty pic and freaked out about it or something, and made him block me, or else they're done or whatever. She's known about me and she's known that I love him for about as long as he's known, and they've been together, but I guess this broke some kind of line. I've felt like crying ever since I've noticed and checked my Instagram account and Discord. She even made him ban me from the Discord server he made for his friend group. I feel sick to my stomach. I know how crazy he is about his girlfriend and I understand why he would have listened to her. I don't blame him, but that doesn't change that it hurts a lot. I know that he'd never be able to love me back because he's straight, and well, the fact we live a pretty decent distance from each other, at least a 6-hour drive, further guarantees that it's not a possibility, and I was okay with that. I was okay with just being able to talk with him, because I didn't only love him but because he's also just a genuinely amazing friend. I just feel like shit. And I hate myself so much. I have so much regret, and I wish I had a time machine or just the ability to go back and stop myself from ever doing it. TLDR, sent straight close friend my first ever attempt at a booty pic, asking for his opinion like I have with many other pictures. I guess girlfriend freaked out about it and made him block me on everything, and I'm scared I'll never get to talk with him again. Edit. I wasn't nude in the picture. He's straight, he wouldn't want to see that obviously. Edit number 2. I didn't send the picture to try and come onto him or seduce him or whatever. I took the pic because I'm seeking another guy. Not wanting your boyfriend to receive nudes from people regardless whether they're interested in him is a valid boundary of the GF. Edit. Apparently not a nude. I assume that regarding booty pics. Promiscuous pictures then. In the end it doesn't matter who did the blocking or what your intentions were. You should consider the possibility that you were pushing his boundaries since you are blocked. If he is okay with it, he'll reach out someday. It might not be your case, but I've had many friends who always said and did things under the disguise of friendship and semi-blamed me for not being receptive. Being polite, being direct, or pretending to not notice their attempts at more than friendship after saying they understand and strictly want to be friends all did not work, and after a while I just have to ignore them entirely. Today I fucked up by not showing up to work and leaving my new co-worker all alone. So early today I-17 female wasn't feeling well and I was having really bad unbearable menstrual cramps to the point where I had to leave school. Later on that day, I had work and I was planning on not going to work due to my cramps. I had no idea what my new manager phone number was, So instead on this employee app I had messaged her 5 hours in advance that I won't be showing up to work since I'm sick, and also asking my coworkers if anyone could cover my shift for me. At first I thought it would be okay to leave my manager a message and not show up at work, because with my old manager that was totally acceptable. Also, if I'm not feeling well there is nothing that I can do about it, so I might as well stay at home. A few hours after that, I was in bed sleeping until I got a random phone call. At first, I didn't know who it was so I declined, but then I got a text message saying, "You need to pick up the phone call." When I picked up, my manager asked me, "Where are you? Why are you not at work, and that your coworker is all alone?" I told my manager that I couldn't make it to work because I wasn't feeling well and that I had messaged her 5 hours in advance. Then she proceeds to say, "I emailed you about the sick policy." I had no idea that there was a sick policy and I don't even know if I got that email. If I did, I probably deleted it, which is definitely my fault and where I had messed up. If I had just read that email and called her rather than messaging her on this app, everything would be fine and she would have found someone to cover my shift for me. I just assumed that someone would cover my shift for me. That was such a dumb assumption I made because I realized that there was no one to cover my shift for me, and my poor new coworker had to work all by himself not knowing what to do while it was very busy at work. After this, my manager demanded that I come into work, so I told her that I'll be there within an hour. After the phone call with my new manager, I was freaking out since I was a mess. I wasn't feeling well and I had to be at work in an hour. I told my mom about the whole situation and that I don't want to go to work but that I already had told my manager that I'll be there. My mom then gets pissed off at my manager and goes ahead and call her and go off at her for her demanding that I come into work when I'm in pain. While my mom was on the phone with my manager explains to my mom that there was a sick policy and I was supposed to call or text her. After the phone call, my mom starts screaming at me for not being responsible and knowing better. I anyway had showed up to work looking like a hot mess while trying my hardest not to cry after getting into a vicious fight with my mom. When I got to work, my manager was there and that was the first time I had met her, which I had definitely left with a bad first impression after all what had happened. After she had talked with me, I ended up apologizing to her regarding what happened and for my actions. Too long did not read. Today I messed up by not reading that important email and calling my manager, and for leaving my new coworker all alone with not knowing what to do while work was very busy. I had also learnt my lesson to be more responsible and to not skim through my emails and delete them after. Didn't you say you texted her on a company app? If so, I think that today I fucked up is the not saying no to go to work when sick. It reads a little bit like your manager is mad at you because there is no redundant planning. You didn't have the manager's number yet the sick policy was a text, call to her personal number? Sounds to me like manager oversight and you really shouldn't be blaming yourself for this. You used the only form of contact you had available to you and went about your business. Don't think this is your fault.